Hi Rob, cheers for reaching out and asking about the starvation mode debate that's currently, well not currently, it's been around for years, but it's getting a lot of traction on social media right now. And just wanted to help, well, give my thoughts on it really. So starvation mode, the current thinking is, or the incorrect thinking is that if you restrict calories too much, there's somehow this magic response where your body stops burning fat and you end up storing fat because of a lack of calories. Now, 100% that can't happen. The law of thermodynamics states that and if energy in is less than energy out, you will lose body fat. It has to happen. If you look at people that go on like Bear Grylls the Island, they're on kind of hardly any calories a day and they lose a significant amount of weight. But there are some adaptive responses that maybe give the impression that starvation mode is occurring and things you need to be aware of. So, number one, if you reduce calories by a significant amount, you will get hungry. You will get more hunger, more cravings, and the that's gonna if that's not controlled and managed correctly, there'll be more kind of subconscious eating, kind of reaching for snacks, eating larger portions. But we have this hedonic kind of desire to eat calorific food, which is elevated in a severe calorie deficit. So the person who's saying I'm eating 1,000 calories a day and I'm not losing weight, well, they're not eating 1,000 calories a day if they're not losing weight. Second thing is being in a massive calorie deficit drives your NEAT, your non-exercise adaptive thermogenesis. So things like walking and energy drives it down into the floor. So if you're in a massive calorie deficit, you will fidget less. Your energy levels will be low, so you won't want to you won't want to move in general. You'll find you're just tired and fatigued. You won't go to the gym, so your exercise expenditure will also decrease. So by restricting calories too much, as in hunger might go up, so you might eat more, but also activity is going to drop down, and that's going to bring on a plateau potentially. The third thing, and this is where a lot of people really fall down on kind of tracking calorie deficits, is you have what's called cortisol related water retention. Now, if you're in a massive calorie deficit, that is a stress to the body. Now, couple that with work stress, with study stress, with relationships, money, whatever that stress is, having a big stress on your body alongside exercise through nutrition can cause water retention through stress. Now, that could potentially mask any scales weight loss. Even though your body's still losing fat, you won't show that drop in fat on the scales. So, and I suppose the last thing is when people come off a severely calorie restricted diet, there's no real lessons and behaviors learned for that person to be able to eat back at maintenance. So the person's normal habitual diet that causes them to weight gain, they then go onto a massively calorie restricted diet, and they go back to eating what they were doing before. Now, there's two things wrong with that. That diet was causing weight gain, so they can't go back to eating that. And the second thing is, because they now weigh less, their metabolic rate at a lower weight is going to be lower. And actually, some of the research shows that if you lose about 10% of your body weight, there might be an additional 10 to 20% adaptation in your metabolic rate compared to just losing that weight alone. Now, that doesn't happen in everybody. You can't test for it. It's just something to be aware of. But if your body weight drops and your metabolism drops and maybe drops a little bit further than it should do, but then you go back to eating up here, now you're eating back at your previous maintenance or excess, but now because your metabolic rate is a lot lower, you're going to store more fat more quickly. So hopefully I've explained that okay. But what you need to do, what the massive downfall for people dieting is, once you decrease calories and your metabolic rate drops off, you then, when you go back to eating at maintenance, you need to make sure that you know what maintenance is, and you need to eat at your new body weight maintenance, not your previous maintenance for your previous weight, because it's going to be lower. Again, if you just go back to your previous maintenance, you're going to store body fat again. So, don't worry. I think the lesson I want to the message I want to leave just as I sign off is, if your client hasn't got a good concept of already eating at maintenance, has good habits, cooks and eats a nutrient varied diet already, don't put them into a massive calorie deficit, because they won't have the it won't be maintained. They'll come off the diet, they'll go back to the previous habits, and they'll lose all that good work. So only use severe calorie deficits or aggressive calorie deficits with people that have a good control of food. Also, as a side note, and I'm not going to go too much into this, the potential for developing eating disorders from going too low on calories, having that bad relationship with food, there's always that risk. So while starvation mode doesn't exist, there's lots of stuff that goes along with that, with this metabolic adaptation that you need to be aware of. But going low on calories does not 100% ever cause fat gain. So hopefully that's been educational. Feel free to reach out, and for any further clarification, happy to help, guys. Good luck.